Alrighty, test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. I think we are good to go. Hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. This is going to be a massive day for Bitcoin because we're either going to hold or we're going to be having a pretty nasty breakdown here, which will let us go into a longer term consolidation again for another breakout opportunity up towards $100,000. Right now, I would say we're looking okay. I'm not really that confident because we did break down below that 20 moving average on the 4-hour chart like we talked about. But besides that, we've been hearing some good fundamental news for Bitcoin, so we'll be talking about all that type of stuff today. So again, hopefully you guys are all having a good day. It is a very, very busy Thursday. I know some of you guys are even watching Thursday night football on Amazon Prime and whatnot, but I think Bitcoin's a little bit more important than football just because it's the Eagles versus the Commanders playing, so East Coast guys. All right. But anyway, let's get started here. Hey, Tim, hope you're doing the best, man. Hey, Dwayne, happy to see you. Sebastian and Clownfish and Silvio. Good day to all of you guys. Let's get in here and see exactly what's going on because, we're in a little bit of a conundrum spot right now. We're in a little bit of a conundrum spot. I don't think you guys can see Loki, but his paw's right here. Let me see if I can move over here. Loki. Oh, no, he was up here for a second. Loki. He's looking for his toy so he can come say hi without biting me. Loki, where's Loki at? There you go. Oh, okay, you're not gonna see him, it's okay. Anyway, Bitcoin right now is kind of in this little bit of a perilous spot. So as far as MACD is concerned, you can see a little bit of a decrease on the daily charts here. Weekly chart, of course, is still booming week after week. We have been going higher. That's absolutely fantastic. But on the daily chart here, we are finding ourselves a little bit of resistance. We've known about this for a few days now, and so far that resistance is being honored. We've been getting rejected by that resistance. Even though we managed to break up on the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart, we have not been able to close above it on the daily. And just in case you guys are wondering at exactly what that level is, it's $90,900.11. That's our current level of resistance that we're having issues with. Although the momentum is slowing down a little bit here, we're still generally doing okay. I think the overall momentum still points to us going higher and higher. It's just that in the short term here, we are looking at a little bit of a conundrum, and I want to point this out to you guys. First of all, if you zoom in just a little bit, and I'll take away all the oscillators and stuff, we've been having this, there we go. Nope, did not fix it. There we go. You see how we're having higher lows? Low, higher low, higher low. Today's the day we could break that, and that could be a bad sign for Bitcoin going forward because it might bring us back down all the way to like the low 80,000s, which would be really bad for a lot of people that have like longs with leverage or swing traders. But it would give a lot of people who haven't been able to find a good buying opportunity a chance to really get into the market. For Bitcoin, of course, it's not really that big of a deal. It's really a big deal for altcoins, I would say. So this is why today is going to be such an important day. So swinging over here to the 4-hour chart, you guys know I reminded you guys yesterday saying, hey, if Bitcoin does break down below this 20 moving average on the 4-hour chart, I don't foresee anything really good happening because we might come all the way back down here to support, which is around $85,111. And if we do start breaking down below that, that's when we start dipping all the way back down here towards the low 80s, which is like 82,000 to 80,000. That would not be the best thing for a lot of us here because we do have a lot of money invested in the market. However, for those of you guys that were scaling out with me over the past few days, you've been able to lock in some type of profit here, and I think that's good. And I think it's okay to scale out instead of selling your whole position, mostly because coins are still kind of ramping up here. Remember, we just bought XRP yesterday, then all of a sudden XRP pops today, and our XRP position, if I can find it, yeah, it's already up 200% with the 5x leverage play here. I'm like, Jesus, I mean, that was moving up pretty fast here. So it's still worth it to have some positions, but you have to be a little bit more picky right now. Like I sold my Mudang a few days ago. I bought it back a couple days ago, and now it's going back up again. You can still trade and swing this as much as you want to. You guys just have to be prepared for some violent moves across the market. And I think that's all I'm saying right now. You guys just have to be prepared for the volatility here because every time Bitcoin goes to this really booming process, it will have some minor corrections, and those corrections do scare a lot of people. Just for an example here, before we start going into the smaller time frames and such and going through altcoins, so far from the highs, Bitcoin managed to get down about 7% or around $6,600. So, Bitcoin's had a pretty rapid move down so far. Is it the end of the world? No. But what's most likely going to happen here is you can see how momentum is slowing. You can kind of just see how we've been going sideways for a second. And because of that sideways move right here, you may even have a death cross on the 4-hour chart if Bitcoin's not able to get back to pumping by the end of this weekend here. I mean, what am I looking at? Right by Monday, Sunday, Monday. So that's not the best sign for us. We need to keep on chugging here. And will we? You know, I think we still have some momentum left over here. But don't forget, you know, we can go up a little bit. It's okay if we cool down as long as we keep on picking up a little bit later. So if a lot of you guys have been swing trading, you guys are still in that scale out mode at this point in time. But let's go over here to the 15-minute chart. First death cross in a while here between the 50 and the 200. Not the biggest deal, but what I wanted to show you guys instead was, let me hide this stuff very fast. Let's go to the 20 and we're going to make this on the 4-hour chart. And you can see we finally started to break down below this, and this is the big thing I'm concerned about. So what we're going to see here, and what you guys are really going to be watching for, is this. Is Bitcoin going to be able to continue that breakdown that we're seeing right there? So far, it's a small breakdown. So far, it's enough for me to be a little bit more cautious, as I told you guys yesterday. But what happens due to that? Are we going to be able to keep on coming down to around 85,000? And then what happens if we tap on that? Are we going to hold, bounce, etc.? For those of you guys that are looking for an easy opportunity to get back in the market, maybe you don't want to try to find the big dip type of moment. Maybe you guys are just waiting for the dip to pass, find the momentum to kind of carry on, and then just buy. And you know, you're not going to be down 10-20% before you make 50-60% type of thing. If you're looking for that type of position right now, basically hop on over to the 4-hour chart or the 2-hour chart. You can see those lower highs right here, and that's it right there. Just give it a little bit of time. So far, I think we're looking decent. Again, you know, there's some signs to worry, but in reality, we're still on the daily chart. So Bitcoin's either going to try to find a way to fluff up today and to keep the boom going, or we're going to start having a larger flush here. That flush may be concerning, but I'm just going to buy up the flush here. But those are the two scenarios I see happening today. My main concern right now is that we did start breaking down on the 4-hour, and that's not the best sign. The only reason I'm still so kind of optimistic about Bitcoin is because, you know, we've been having these types of moves for a while. We've even seen the daily charts actually get negative here on momentum, right? And it didn't matter because whales came in to pump us up. We saw that there was big news coming out of cryptocurrency world, you know, whether it be Gary Gensler today, Trump appointing a new guy that's pro-crypto, all that type of stuff. It's been helping Bitcoin fundamentals. And you've been seeing certain tokens like an XRP or a Dogecoin and stuff like that having some really solid moves. All right, so let me have that one more time. And that kind of brings me to what we were talking about a little bit ago. In fact, I need to go over here to maybe the 2-hour chart. I want to draw this, but I want to draw this here without the actual extended right line. There we go. There we go. If we're lucky, we'll just make some type of channel here. But you know, we're about to break down below the 50 here if we're not lucky. I think you're probably going to see people in the short term overnight buy long, and then when we hit into tomorrow morning, you might see more of the drop off or the big boom. But I don't think we should see anything too crazy before tomorrow morning market open. Hopefully I'm correct about that, because you can see that so far there is another trend line right there. If we boost up a little bit, we can easily get back up towards around like $89,000, $90,000. So I'll be watching that. Now, as far as the news today, I was on X. I was trying to figure out what exactly was going on here, and I think I need to go to this one very fast to see. There we go. All right, so a few different things. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of messages from the NFL. I started to follow them, and it's just annoying because I don't need to follow the NFL. Hold on. Too many notifications from them. And back up, and back up. There we go, and back up. There you go. All right, MicroStrategy continues to buy more Bitcoin. They're printing money. That's about there. This is one of the big things here. SEC faces lawsuit from 18 states over crypto regulation. And the second one here is SEC Chair Gary Gensler hinted at an exit. he's going to get fired. And then, of course, Pennsylvania proposes a bill for strategic Bitcoin reserve. The bill is proposed, it's not passed, it hasn't even gone through committees and stuff like that, but it's interesting at least. So the first one here, I kind of want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. This came from Watcher Guru earlier. There's a bunch of other people that kind of read the bill. We don't need to read the bill. But just in 18 states sue the SEC alleging unconstitutional overreach and unfair persecution of the crypto industry under Gary Gensler. I don't think this really has much merit. I think this is just kind of a way to kick his ass on the way out, because he's going to be leaving here. But I'm curious to see, if you think they have a case. For the most part, I think they probably do, but I just think it's going to take so long that Gary Gensler is not going to be there at all when they, when they go to court, go to trial, and all that type of stuff. I don't think it's even worth throwing that type of stuff in there. Next up, we got SEC Chair Gary Gensler. Again, exit hinted, crypto market reacts. This I thought was actually worth the read here. So this came from Bitcoin Magazine and a whole bunch of other stuff. You saw XRP rise up to 80 cents off of this news. It was big news. But basically, he says this. Before I close, I want to say something about the SEC and its staff. It's a remarkable agency. The staff and commission are deeply mission-driven, focused on protecting investors, maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. The lawyers, accountants, economists, policy experts, and other staff generally can make more money working somewhere else. They choose, though, to work on behalf of the public here at the SEC. It's been a great honor to serve with them doing the people's work and ensuring that our capital markets remain the best in the world. Conclusion. Sam and Jane Gensler, my mom and dad, never worked in finance or ever even completed college. When they invested their savings, our family benefited from securities markets' common sense rule of the road. The SEC's effective administration of well-regulated securities markets promotes trust. It's what brings investors and issuers to the market like fans to the football game. It's what underpins the world's largest capital markets. It's what's contributed to our nation's greatest economic success these last 90 years. I have been proud to serve with my colleagues as the SEC who, day in and day out, work to protect American families on the highways of finance. He hasn't really put out much sentimental stuff like that in the past, so everybody's speculating that he's kind of saying, okay, I understand my time is up. I've been hearing a lot of people badmouth my team, and I need to respond to this before I kind of get kicked out. And he is going to be getting kicked out. He is very much going to be kicked out here very soon. I think that is very good. I think when it comes to crypto, he's been horrible. Other non-crypto stuff, I think he's been decent. Not good, not bad, not terrible, just decent. When it comes to crypto, he's been absolutely atrocious, just horrible, very, very bad for the crypto industry, very, very arbitrary, and he's decided to make up his own laws, which has been very damaging to his reputation. I don't think his reputation ever comes back. He may be respected in the Wall Street circles, but as far as you talk to the average person in America who just only knows about him because of all the crypto guys like us just railing against him, they're not going to have the best view of him. So he'll just have to live with it. I think he'll be fine and stuff like that, but if I saw him in public, I would not have a pleasant thought about him. Let's just say that. I wouldn't do anything to him or, advocate for anything. It's just look at that guy. He was horrible for the industry. He cost a lot of people a lot of money, and he was bought by the old, the pro dollar class, you can call them. All right. Last little bit of a story here before we start going into some technical analysis and just looking at what coins are actually popping off today. This was interesting. Pennsylvania proposes a bill for strategic Bitcoin reserve. We've been hearing about this, for a while now from about, the United States doing it. But can you imagine if all 50 states try to start getting involved with buying Bitcoin as well? You may have states buying more Bitcoin than the United States, which could be very, very interesting. Can you imagine if somebody like California, Florida, Texas, maybe Texas says, hey, we know we need a lot of money for the long term for all of our pension funds and everything like that. We're going to start buying Bitcoin at $5 billion a year. So I don't know exactly what that number would be. I'm totally guessing here. And they start buying a Bitcoin. Then you see Iowa doing it, maybe with 500 million Bitcoin a year. Washington, 4 billion Bitcoin a year. California, 2 billion Bitcoin a year. something like that, you could really see a lot of progress there and a lot of Bitcoin being bought up and just less supply. And as that supply gets sucked out over the next few years, you know there's just going to be a massive amount of demand and we're going to see prices skyrocket. Another reason just to dollar cost average, or especially buy Bitcoin in the midst of a major crisis that's most likely going to happen in the next few years. You guys know we have those crypto winters. I'll be curious to see how bad those crypto winters get, especially with all the Wall Street money there. But I would have to bet that if Bitcoin were to crash and have a really negative move, they would also be selling along with the rest of us here. But as always, when we start to crash and burn, I'll let you guys know when I'm dollar cost averaging again, and it's definitely not going to be the bottom because I'm not that smart, but we are definitely going to be able to get towards the bottom here where, you know, in hindsight, when we start to sell like we've been selling right now, I've sold a 7% off at 81,000. I sold 3% off at 90,000, 91,000 actually. We'll look good and we're like, man, I may have bought around 25,000, 20,000, 17,000, but selling right now up at the 80s and 90s, man, that was totally worth the wait. That's a good solid hold there, and because you hold for a while, the taxes aren't as bad as if you were just doing some day trading or your typical swing trading. So, you know, it does open up some options here. But I'm wondering, and I'm hoping this does come to pass, I would like to see some type of grassroots plan, maybe some initiative by some smaller companies out there to start getting phone numbers and emails from people in the industry and start having people like me, you, everybody watching, you know, is there a way for us to call our local representatives, our local treasury secretaries in our state, you know, governors, leave notes, city council members, and say, hey, can you guys make some type of strategic Bitcoin reserve for my local town, for our city, for our state, you know, for our county, to help offset some of the growing expenses we know we're going to have in the future. So I think this can be the start of something massive, or it's just a continuation. I wouldn't say it's the start, it's a continuation. But the more we see this happen, the more excited I get about just holding Bitcoin for the long term, which is why we have our cycle portfolios, but we also have our long-term portfolios that we just kind of buy some Bitcoin in every now and again, and we just hold and hold and hold through all the cycles and craziness. We just hold and hold and hold. It's just so crazy how fast everything is changing right now. All because Trump got elected, all of a sudden everybody's just like, okay, we're now pro crypto. Wall Street's involved with cryptocurrency. All we need to have happen now is Warren Buffett come out and say, I was wrong about Bitcoin. I need to buy Bitcoin. Everybody needs to buy Bitcoin. You know, he's never going to say that because he's old and he's stubborn. But I think we're in a good spot here, right? I think we're in a very, very good spot. And if you guys are new to the stream and you guys, if you guys can, please make sure to subscribe and like. YouTube is very stingy about those two for whatever reason, and it actually promotes the video more when you guys do that. And I just appreciate having more subscribers and followers and stuff like that. And if you want to go above and beyond, I do have my X account above if you guys do want to follow me on X. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers because I was late to the X party, and now I'm just starting to post a little bit more, especially a lot of videos about the SEC, Trump, Biden, well, not Kamala anymore because she's not relevant, unfortunately for her. But yeah, a lot of content like that. So as far as what's popping off today, I would say despite Bitcoin being down a little bit of less, 24 hours, there's still some stuff moving, right? Act 1, the AI prophecy, that one's up 18% right now, up to $769 million market cap. You're seeing coins just get popped right now. A lot of these are getting started by VC funds that actually have a lot of funds right now because of Bitcoin booming. So there's just a lot of manipulation going on. But, if you want to catch a trend like this, you can. It just might be kind of hard for the first few days after it's gone viral because not every exchange is going to have this just yet. I don't know much about this one. This is not really on my watch list, but I'm sure it must be on something. It's perpetual. So it's on all the exchanges that are not allowed in America. That should tell you something right there. So, it's on Weeks. Actually, it's on Weeks right now. Some Weeks might have just added it. I don't know. Bitnix, I think, is still in America, maybe. So you still got some options here. You still got some options. But when I see stuff like this popping off out of nowhere, it's very, very hard to get into that type of stuff. A lot of whales and manipulation going on. But again, riding a wave never hurt. OM up 17%, XRP up 17% right now. We bought XRP a couple days ago. It's definitely doing well right now. Brett is up 11%, HBAR is up 10%. Mostly everything else is up 5-6%, but we're still okay right now. I'd still say okay. One of the issues here, and we talked about this a few days ago, is why we started to scale out back then, is when we look at all this stuff on the weekly chart, not all of them, let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum's been okay. We literally talked about a dive back down here, then a rally again. We're in the middle of that dive. I thought it just might happen next week, not within this week here. But yeah, we can see it kind of happening. I'm always horrible with how I draw this stuff because it doesn't really show up right. Like this is like mid-November type of stuff. However, let's go back over here. Solana's still broken out. That's still good to see right there. But again, we're dealing with some levels of resistance. Dogecoin dealing with some levels of resistance. I mean, pretty darn good. I mean, it's almost up to all-time highs here, which is crazy, or it was at some point. But Dogecoin still rallying here. WIF dealing with some resistance, getting pushed back a little bit right now. Bonk dealing with some resistance. Mirror dealing with some resistance right now. Not terrible, but we're just dealing with some resistance and we're having some issues breaking above it. I think this is just a nice level for consolidation. No reason to panic. Just continuing to consolidate here is fine by me. Shiba Inu, again, dealing with some resistance. Pepe breaking out. This was a special circumstance because it got put back on Robinhood, which is great news. Floki dealing with a little bit of resistance, but ultimately it still managed to break out a little bit. The issue is, can it close above this by the end of the week? All right. And again, I was a little bit off. We saw the move coming, but just a little bit off there. Milady token broke out, so far holding above that resistance, but right now, what's it getting rejected by? The 50-week moving average right here. So a lot of drama going on. What am I looking at? What am I thinking about buying? I'm still averaging, averaging up with a lot of meme coins right now, but the way I'm looking at this market right now is I've already allocated a lot of money into meme coins. I've already started to scale out of a couple of them. The ones that have kind of like ran like too crazy for me, like, oh wow, that's up a couple 100%. Yeah, I should probably take some profits off of that. However, if we back up a little bit and let's just kind of go through some random ones here, right? Like Matic. Maybe I should go to the monthly charts here. Matic is still relatively low compared to where it was before. This still has an opportunity to go higher. I own some Matic. Tron, this one's been doing fantastic. I've been buying a little bit more of it, but it's not at that low point like a lot of other tokens here. Kaspa, it's not really low enough for me to want to buy, but it is bouncing off the 20-month. Ocean over here, we talked about this breakdown there and what that might mean for us. This, let me draw it this way because I didn't draw a good straight line last time. We had a breakout there. We might have a breakout coming up soon here, but we've been unlucky. I'm waiting to see if this breaks out and I'll buy MOG. No, I'm trying to look for other things that are not meme coins. RLC, here we go. At a low point, I think I'm going to buy more of these types of tokens because you can see those moving averages. They're going to be levels of resistance. Over here on the weekly chart, you also see levels of resistance here. I think these type of tokens can do some good, and the stop losses, because of how close they are just to some of their bottoms, they're not going to be crazy low. Like for instance, if I want to buy this around 158, which it is right now, the stop loss is going to be around 130 or all the way down here around $1. So, you could lose a good chunk of it, which, like, let's say you could risk up to 32%. But if you're thinking about this as a spot trade or even a longer term investment, I mean, 30% for the opportunity to rally up here towards this big chunk of resistance right there. You're risking 30% for the opportunity to make like 100%. That's a decent enough ratio, 3 to 1, I think. Those are the type of moves I'm looking at. But I think it's just fair to dollar cost average into them with spot. If you want to go down the leverage path, you can, but again, a good leverage is going to be 2x or 3x. You really don't have to go crazy above that. I have 10x leverages, but I bought well before this move even started, which I think just makes it a lot easier to hold. If you guys, this makes it a little bit easier to hold right there. GRT, still towards the bottom areas here, right? Getting rejected by the 50. FA, still pretty low right now. Old AI token. World token came back down, got rejected from resistance like we talked about. Still not able to actually have this breakout there, but it came pretty close. Watching to see what happens next. I think this is still a good opportunity for a lot of these tokens that haven't boomed up. I'm just accumulating a little bit of them at a time. maybe a little bit every 4 to 5 days, maybe not every week, but every 4 to 5 days, just a little bit more than you might think, just in case Bitcoin decides to go full-blown craziness again. But I don't think you have to allocate a lot of money to this, just because, again, if it does go from $2 up to like, $3.72, you're still making a good profit here. It's not like you're only making 5-10%. You're making 30-40% plus. If you do leverage, it could be 80, 90, 100%. Or if you just get a really good token, sometimes they can rally over a couple 100%. But I don't want you guys to have those expectations, because then when your token's up and it's hitting a level of resistance, you're not going to sell because you're thinking, oh my God, this thing is going to $1 bajillion, which of course it rarely does. Rarely. It does happen every now and again, but I would say it's pretty darn rare. So just to kind of sum up that level of resistance for Bitcoin though, 90,900 is what we want to break above this week or next week and close above on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we've still been unable to do so. What makes today so complicated and I think worrisome for a lot of investors out there is Bitcoin's either going to come down hard, probably towards the mid 80s or lower 80s thousands, or we're going to be able to kind of hold on a little bit longer and try to break out probably back up to between 90 to 94,000 bucks for an all-time high. So we're in this very precarious spot. Momentum is slowing down, but what's been keeping us alive so far has been whales just buying up a shit ton of Bitcoin and driving that price up. Luckily for us, tomorrow is Friday. I know there won't be usually as much volatility coming from Wall Street tomorrow, which is why I'm a little bit more concerned. But things have been looking good so far, so hopefully we can get some good bulls in here. And then when the market opens up tomorrow, let me show you guys this 15-minute chart, because it's been decent for us so far. The market sessions, right? Just like we talked about, New York, if we were going to see them move below the 20 moving average here on the 4-hour chart, we talked about this yesterday, it was going to happen in New York time. And you can, well, actually, let me hide everything here that doesn't matter for a second. Let's go to the 4-hour. There you go. You can see it happen during New York time right here. Those big moves that we've been seeing, it generally has been happening in New York time. Tokyo has been a little bit slower. Every now and again, Tokyo is when we have the big moves. Not as of the last couple of days. It's been New York time. New York time is when everything's been booming. I think because the ETF market's post-election type of stuff. But the US is when things are happening. So what I'm thinking of doing is, if I wake up early tomorrow, I think I'm going to try to go live around 6 o'clock in the morning. If I wake up that early, I'm definitely taking a nap sometime throughout the day, but I think that's when we're seeing the most volatility. Hopefully we can continue to try to go higher. It's just that I've always been a little bit more concerned when we see that 4-hour chart coming. And let me turn this back over here very fast. Breaking down below that 20 moving average here has just not been the best move for Bitcoin. It just kind of leads to a little bit of stagnation, a little bit of boredom, and a little bit of panicking. And so an example of this is Bitcoin breaking down right here at 5 o'clock in the morning, again, kind of close to American time, on Saturday, right? October 31st, Halloween. Bitcoin, it's not a big deal. But if you go over here towards something like a, I don't know, what's a meme coin that we all know right now? Let's just go to Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin is fine. RAM, there you go. Dogecoin's coming down 15%, while Bitcoin may be coming down just 2 to 3%. You get what I'm saying? That move for altcoins is just much more scary. And speaking of Dogecoin, you can see that breakdown that we were talking about, also breaking down below the 20 moving average on this chart. Signs where I've had scale out limits. I'm like, oh, I should probably sell a little bit off here, just to kind of reinforce what I've been talking about the last few days. Because we usually have a plan if it goes up and if it goes down, but if it does go down, we have to execute that plan just to stay disciplined here, because again, we need to lock in those profits, because this is the time of year where you guys have to spend a lot of money, do a lot of stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I have to buy a lot of gifts. I'm gonna go into the Nutcracker with a good friend, gonna be doing a whole bunch of stuff, cost some money, and I want to be able to buy my stuff with the profits I get from Bitcoin, as well as just add a little bit more into my 401k, my Roth IRA, and stuff like that, right? So always some crazy stuff going on. But for now, let's go back over here. Let's put back on these moving averages, and there we can see Now, what's popping off on my list right here? Pepe's still making a pretty decent move, but you can see it's just rebounding off of some of those more drastic moves it's had over the past few hours. And, ooh, yeah, lower highs for sure. Mixed lows, that's not terrible. It had a breakout. It just was really not a good breakout. It's trying for a double bottom right now, but it really has to pump up over the next hour or so. I mean, what, it's 6 o'clock. We've had 2 hours since this day started here. And it's basically a bunch of unch. It's a bunch of unch. Nothing's happening. Mu Dang is down a couple percent. I need to sell my Mu Dang. Oh, shit. I should have sold this a while ago. No. It's still up from when I bought. Okay. Okay. I bought Mu Dang like 7th. Yeah. I bought it like down here. It went berserk. And I sold it like right up here. But then I bought it a couple days ago back over here. So I might actually be down on it now. Shit. Oh, it's spot trade. It's not leverage, so it doesn't matter. Actually, I don't think I have a leverage trade on it, but I think the leverage trade was from a while ago, so I think I'm still fine. But you can see some flushing going on right now with altcoins, which means you are seeing profit taking. So if the smart money is doing some profit taking, maybe it's okay for you to take some profit as well. There we go. And then let's just add the MACD back in here just for my own sanity. I really want to keep track of the momentum going forward just because it's going to be important. All right. Getting down on Friday. Hey, Multi-Stacker, happy to see my man. Loki's somewhere around here. I think he's actually chilling on the sofa behind me. Pole is just getting wrecked, it feels like. Makes me sad, a bit worried. Yeah, I mean, it just has not been having a good time. Some of the older asset classes out there have just not been having a good time of it. Like if you take away all the moving averages, all the oscillators and stuff like that, and you just pull up some of these old altcoins, they still have a long way to go in my opinion. But short term, they just, if it's not the top three, like a Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, it's been kind of rough. But again, Ethereum is on an all-time high. Solana is on an all-time highs, although Solana is a lot closer. Market cap does matter. Let's go over here to Ape Token, Arbitrum, XRP, making a move here, but that's a news-related move. Chili's, they're still hit pretty hard. Remember, over the past few weeks, what have we been talking about? Or what have I been preaching? Buy meme coins, buy meme coins, buy meme coins, and AI tokens. AI tokens haven't been all that in a bag of chips either. Ocean, that's MOG. Where's the rest of mine? RLC, meh. World token, making a move, but not crazy. Fa, meh. Fetch, meh. Meh. So it's really been meme coins here making these big moves. But if you go over here to Polygon and Matic, I mean, this monthly chart just looks absolutely freaking atrocious right now. I'm hoping that we can have a good move here. Because again, this did have a breakout a while ago. You can see it right here. Look at it, right? Had a breakout. And it managed to go a little bit higher. Did nothing. Again, this was back when Bitcoin got slammed in March and April. But it just was not able to complete anything, right? It was just really, really sad. You go back over here to Mana and Sand. There's so many tokens back from the old days here, 2020, 2021. They've just have not had a good recovery. And it seems like meme coins have been the place to really park your money for some really solid growth. Perhaps this just means we really haven't started a true altcoin season just yet. We're just kind of having another example of what we saw back here in March or April, where maybe Bitcoin is going to some crazy levels at that point, but we haven't seen meme coins or to me like the rest of the market have that move. You can see back here in March, you can see how crazy everything went. October, December, January, February, really good times here. Bitcoin's going crazy, and we're not seeing these things have good moves just yet. So that could be something we just have to watch out for. For me, I'm not giving up on them, but I think it's just boring dollar cost average by a little bit, and I do mean a little bit, every week, and then just let it add up. Now, I've been doing it for a while here. I'm down a lot on these tokens. Meme tokens have really saved me from taking any crazy losses this year. Well, I guess, I do swing trading and day trading, which is better, but As far as just some spot holds, yeah, I mean, buying these tokens has just been an utter disaster. However, I'm still dollar cost averaging, right? And that's because I do think when altcoin season comes around, these are going to spike and go crazy because we've seen it happen before. You know, sand within a few months ran up around 210%. We know it can happen. We've seen what happens to these things during an altcoin season. It just so happens right now, according to these type of charts, we're not in an altcoin season. Maybe this is something of a COVID effect that everybody was trapped inside their houses, so they just had to buy everything they could. A lot of new people, they typically go where people tell them. So when there was the metaverse phase, they did that. When there was the regular Dogecoin phase, everybody went to that. You know, maybe there's just not as much excitement about some of these tokens right now, and that's driving people a little bit crazy. It's driving me a little bit crazy. If I wasn't a swing trader or a day trader and I just dollar cost averaged all my money into sand or mana, I don't know why people would do that, but you know, if I did, I'd be very disappointed about the the market right now. But again, this is why when I explain to new investors and I talk to you guys about like what token should I buy, I just say buy the big three. Not Dogecoin, excuse me. Dogecoin's a big three to me, but for the average person, it's Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. Those are the ones that most people should just buy, hold, and just don't fuck around with it. You're gonna be fine. But yeah, there's a lot of tokens right now that are just not doing hot. We have to respect that they're not doing hot. Dollar cost average them if they want to. But I think a lot of you have been perfectly fine with the meme coins. I mean, that's what we talked about, mostly meme coins here. That's why when we do go through all my watch lists and stuff like that, they happen to be more heavily to memes and AI. You know, and go over the last 30 days, right? Turbo hasn't performed well. Meme hasn't. Dog, okay, some of them gone down a little bit, but still. Dog, Rune, Sundog. For the most part, they've all been doing okay here, and they've had their own individual runs. It just kind of depends on how long you want to hold some of these for. But the biggest loss on here is going to be 30% for Turbo. Dog is 19% here, even though it's up 18% last 24 hours. Again, it only takes a small amount of time to make these moves. You know, I know we have other meme ones that we'd like to watch, but the main point is memes have just been outperforming everything, which again is good for us. But everything else, like the ADAs of the world, which again had to move because of a news event, it's just been kind of boring, right? It's been kind of rough. Or we may not have an altcoin season at all. I think we're going to have an altcoin season. I mean, if we don't have one, it'd be like the first, and I usually don't try to speculate on the first or something like that, but I think we'll be able to have it based off of the move we saw back in March, April. When the market wants to, it can really push up a lot of stuff. This time it feels like Wall Street is really hopping on Bitcoin, which is kind of speeding up Bitcoin's progress. But again, Wall Street isn't really hopping on, you know, Dogecoin as much. Literally, that's like an endeavor by Elon Musk just saying, hey, Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, haha, let's fucking go Dogecoin, right? Stuff like that. And hey, Jane, I appreciate it. If you guys can, yeah, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe. Bitcoin and chill. Yeah, I'm so fucked up. I thought of that as beer and chill right here. I'm going to the cigar lounge a little bit later. I don't think I'm going to smoke a cigar, but I am just going to chill tonight. Enjoy myself. For a second, I thought you had a 10-hour crab rave playing in the background. I could definitely use some crab right now. All right, let me see what's going on with X right now. If you guys didn't know, was there for a while. RFK is going to be the new health secretary. That's going to be a huge thing. It's just going to be absolutely crazy. But I believe everybody's going wild because of it, because they don't like him. If you guys went to the stock market, health companies dropped like a rock today after the news. Like, he is going to be going after them, and they're going to have to prove that all their vaccines are everything they need to. They're going to be having like another vetting process. It's going to be much more in a what do you want to call that? Rigorous, I would say. And again, it's just going to create a lot more stuff. Let me just see what happened to Jake Elliott in the NFL. Oh shit, he must have just been everything bad. Hold on a second. So they're gonna, okay, here we go. And hooks it. Jeez, okay. I can never be a kicker, but still, if you're a kicker, you only have one job, and that's to freaking kick the ball. As far as Bitcoin's concerned here, guys, It's definitely down a little bit more. There's not crazy amounts of news being broken right now. But again, you're just seeing the same stuff regurgitated that you see every bull cycle, plus some Trump magic on top of it, which to me is still really good. I mean, I'm happy Trump got elected because of how Bitcoin's been performing since he got elected. But he still hasn't been in office yet, or he still hasn't been inaugurated yet. We still have a long way to go. The more he can flush out for us and the other investors what he plans to do with Bitcoin, or his people when they talk about it, I do think that'll be good from a technical aspect of Bitcoin. But again, we're just gonna have to wait a little bit more. Peanut crashed. Well, yeah. Remember, actually let me go over here and see what happened to Peanut, because I have not been keeping track of it. That's what I told you guys I'm not buying into that type of stuff, because Peanut the squirrel. Because it just ran up so fast. Of course, people are going to be taking profits. So let's go over here to the last 7 days. It's still a lot higher. It ran up to around 217, 220. Let's squeeze this down. 236. It's definitely come down quite a bit. It'll probably have another run up here if Bitcoin does. But when you get into these tokens, I cannot stress. When you have a token that runs up like this and catches fire, the majority of the time at this point, it's kind of started by a VC type fund that controls everything and has buying bots and stuff, so you can really get crazy with it. You can really manipulate it. But when they do it right, they can make a lot of money like this. It's rare that they take off like this, but heck, I think right now your best bet is to probably just try to day trade it or buy a little bit of money in spot. You know, it's already at a $1.6 billion market cap, you know. But, you know, there are still plenty of memes under like the 500 million market cap, a billion market cap that you guys might like, whether it be Dogs, Ponk, SPX, Pepe, Giga Chad. Giga Chad's actually been getting fucking slammed, so I'd probably avoid that one. Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, it's down 36% today. Last 7 days, though, it's up 122%. $300 million market cap. You could open this up and say, hey, you know, where is this at? Gateo, L Bank. You can buy it at a few different spots. I don't see any American places yet. Oh, this is all open ocean. All open ocean, pretty much. Perpetual, L Bank is the only place yet, so that'll be kind of hard. L Bank isn't available in the United States, but you can see the volume on it's been about $5.6 billion so far. So people are going crazy with it. I think that's a billion. Yeah, that's a billion. So again, yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had, but you better be careful. If you wanted to go into this L Bank, maybe do a 3x long $100 trade for the average investor out there, and just let it sit and see what happens, because this will be viral until the end of the Bitcoin bull run. Because you know the government's going to be talking about this. You know the news is going to be talking about this. Every time they go in and cut something, it's going to get brought right back up into the news. So there's going to be so much news. Of course, I like having Dogecoin. I own a bunch of Dogecoin. But this has a lower market cap than when I first bought Dogecoin. So this might not be a bad idea, especially since it's fallen back down like again 35% in one day. That is insane. Look at that big pop. It's definitely crashing and burning and falling right now. But again, if you want to buy something up cheap and just see if it has like a fun little YOLO moment, there. But you'd have to have an L Bank account, so, you know. That means for the 27 million market cap, I think to get on L Bank, I think it's like, I think to launch on L Bank, I think it's around 50,000 USD to get listed on L Bank, so it looks like they got some money after doing that. Maybe they'll double down and try to get into other exchanges here pretty soon. I would definitely keep an eye on them. But as far as spot is concerned, all you can really buy it on is Uniswap, Gate.io. I mean, there's a few of them, but just none of these are really in America. And then, of course, you might actually, and the ticker is, this is interesting. So there's different tickers here. It's either Doge, or it's Doge, D-O-G-E, or it's Doge Gov. So it's a little bit confusing there as well. So be careful there, but that's definitely one I'd add on to my watch list right here. I would definitely add it. Now, let me go see what else is here. Baby Doge, anything new that's been sprouting up over the past few days? Lucy right here. This could be interesting. Again, $271 million market cap. It's down 16% today because it really ran up a lot already this week. If this continues to come down, this could be a good one. Particularly for me, I like to find tokens that are below a penny. But I don't really see many of those right now that are new. Fart coin, you know, it's up 151%. Sudang Hippo, 171% right there. It's still up 6% today. That's still anything really. Land Wolf, that's a horrible name, but maybe it goes up. Bell's coin, Sigma. Damn, all these Sigma tokens are getting killed right now. Bubcat? No, it's not below a penny. I think Mother Iggy, no. Names AI. We're getting down to some really cheap stuff right now. Grok. I mean, Grok is still pretty much going up right now as Twitter gets more popular. Maybe Grok could be another example here. It's below a penny, but it's only at 57 million market cap, so you know it's going to break above it. Skibbity Toilet. Selfie Dog Coin. Kanduino. Dog Eat Doge. A lot of stuff falling down last week down here. MSTR. Okay. Yeah, I think there's some opportunities, but they kind of pop up so fast, it's really hard to see what's going on. You almost have to have some type of alert software there, and I think there's a few out there that maybe some of you guys could work with. Hey, Flo, what a crash. I see the quotes right there, crash, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about this being a crash. I would say we can have a crash, but it would happen within the next 24 to 48 hours, and you'd have to bring up the all-time highs that we just got to down to where we flush out to, which could be down to like $82,000 maybe at the worst of it, and that'd be like a $93,000 to $82,000 correction. That'd be considered a crash, like, you know, a $10,000 drop, $11,000 drop. But we really still have to wait. I think it'll probably happen sometime in the morning. This time of night, we're usually pretty slow. Tokyo time's been slow the last few days. It's really been during USA hours that things get hectic. And of course, tomorrow's Friday, so what happens Saturday, Sunday? Shit is gonna go down one way or the other, so we guys gotta keep that up here. Did the dollar index break the yearly trend line? I believe it did. FYI, healthcare companies are filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy like crazy. Research it if you're into shorting stocks. Oh, there you go, right there. Robinhood is releasing Sol, Pepe, XRP, and one other tells me something is coming. So basically the reason they're doing that is because they have a feeling that Gary Gensler is going to be let go, or he's going to be fired, or he's going to retire, something like that, right? Go over here. There it goes. Right. SEC Chair Gary Gensler exit hinted. Crypto markets react. Everybody in crypto despises this guy for the most part. The only guy that really likes Gary Gensler was Mark Cuban, and that was because he was pro Kamala Harris. Since she lost the election, he's been deleting all of his pro Kamala tweets, which is hilarious. However, because they know he's on the way out, and if he does make a lawsuit right now, it won't even go to court, you know, because it's going to be a pro crypto person in there. That power, that fear that people have of the SEC, that Robinhood had the SEC cracking down on them, they don't feel that. They feel emboldened to start listing tokens again. This is a huge shift. This is, you know, it shows that people are getting more excited. They feel like the government isn't going to be cracking down on them as much. So of course they can start doing stuff like this. Remember, Robinhood only has a few tokens out there. I think I can find it right here. Robinhood crypto tokens. I didn't type that in properly, but that's fine. What we offer. There you go. Aave, Avalanche, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, ADA, Link, Compound, and some of these might not even be available in America. They might just be available globally through Robinhood, right? Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, Pepe, Sheeb, Solana, XLM, Tezos, Uniswap, USD Coin, and then XRP. Now, You know that's a very small list. You know that's a very tiny list. You go over to crypto.com, you go over to Coinbase, you're going to find hundreds and hundreds of tokens to buy, and that's where you want to be. Who wants to buy cryptocurrency on Robinhood? Not many people. The people that typically buy crypto on Robinhood are those that are very new to the game, or they have money in the stock market on Robinhood, and they just don't want to open up a separate Coinbase account. They don't want to open up a separate crypto.com account. They just want to have all their money in one spot on Robinhood, which again is fine. You're just not going to be able to buy a bunch of tokens. So, you know, if you're trying to buy Dogecoin before it takes off, or the next Dogecoin before it takes off, you're not going to buy it on Robinhood. You're going to buy it on Coinbase, you're going to buy it on crypto.com, or you're going to buy it on an exchange like a ZoomX or an LBank or a BYDFi or a Weegs or Binance, you know, something like those quality of exchanges that you're just not going to find on Robinhood. As time goes on, though, we might see them add more and more and more tokens. Unfortunately for them, they have to go out and buy all these tokens to list on their exchange, so they are not getting cheap prices right now at all for this type of stuff. So sucks to be them, but at the same time, you know, you guys know I bought Hood around like $8-10, and so far with this crypto move, I mean, Hood has been making me some money. I was surprised how much it moved actually based off of all this stuff that we've been seeing. But like, I've been holding on this for a while. Again, I was not betting on crypto to save this. If you guys recall, the reason I bought this was because I thought Vlad might get kicked out and they might have a new CEO, and that new CEO could really lead them to some really profitable stuff. Right now, I think they're only doing okay because crypto is stepping up, which is fine. But I don't think the long-term health of this company is solid just yet. They really need to continue just, you know, making the app better, making more money consistently and that type of stuff. You know, if Bitcoin were to crash to $30,000 over the next few months, you'd see this come all the way back down to probably $12 or so. That's how much it's been relying on other assets and the crazy moves and stuff like that. Which again is fine, but you kind of have to be more, not so much of a long-term investor on this unless you're buying at these horrible levels that I was back in the day. There you go. And so far, Bitcoin is still a little bit more bearish here. That new tab wallpaper is fire. I used to play with Midjourney a lot, and so I used to just love making different Asian themes. Like, depending on what Google Chrome window I have a bunch of different stuff here. Like, it's just chill. It fits my mood of how I want to do stuff. I'm a big cigar smoker. I haven't been smoking cigars as much the last few weeks, but I like to go to the lounge and talk with friends and stuff like that. But yeah, just chill. Good vibe. It's always about a good vibe. If you don't know, I used to be a marketing director back up in Seattle, and I was stressed out. So ever since I started making money in crypto, I was stressed out learning how to trade crypto and options and stuff like that. But now that I know how to do it, I try not to be stressed out as much as possible. That goes to like girlfriends, let's not be stressed out. Let's go to like, you know, hanging out with friends and stuff, let's not be stressed out. YouTube, let's not be stressed out. I do a bunch of fun stuff that I want to do. Like, for example, right now, you guys know I'm partnering with Oprah's Clip. I'm doing a little bit of a side job for them right now just because of the fun of it. And it's an AI company. It has nothing to do with cryptocurrency, nothing to do at all. But I love working with them because I've known them ever since they were a tiny little company, and I still do fun stuff with them. I have a massive network over the years. Now I just meet with a lot of people. I like to talk to people, even if it's not about cryptocurrency, because everybody's crypto curious. So when they want to ask me something, I'm like, oh yeah, hey, yeah. And they're like, yo, what do you do? I got a massive network, and I just love to have a good time. I don't want to be stressed out. I grew up poor. It was not a good experience. As some of you guys that grew up like, you know, in government assistant housing and stuff like that, you know, it's not a good good time. So now I try to be as happy as possible, relax as much as possible, chill as much as possible. And then when I want to stress myself out, it's my choice, and I know why I'm doing it. I'm about to stress myself out a little bit because I'm about to start doing bunch more content for you guys, but I've been so slow on doing it because I started going to the gym. I started having a cleaning lady over, and I have to like watch her like a hawk with my grandmother, because my grandmother's helping her make sure they're not like moving stuff, because I have what's called a controlled chaos house, where like if you look at my house, it's actually fairly clean, but like there may be keys in one area, wallet in one area, jacket in one area, and I just put all that stuff together as I walk out the door. If they move it, I'm dead in the water for a little bit. I have no idea what the fuck's going on because I have to find my keys again, I have to find my wallet again, I have to find my jacket again. Drives me nuts. So when they're moving stuff, I have to know exactly where everything is going, or something breaks in my mind, I just get pissed. I think it's because I have like some slight form of autism. Imagine there's a plug on the wall and you're trying to yank it out from the cord. Like you're not going to the wall, you're trying to just yank it out using the cord, and you're like a few feet away, right? But it's not coming out. The reasonable person walks up to the wall and pulls the cord out. And sometimes I do that. But sometimes I just keep on yanking until I fucking break the cord because I'm so pissed off. There has to be something with autism and that type of stuff right there, right? Is this Shib? No, this is Bitcoin right now. Shiba Inu, it's had a good run, but we talked about this a few days ago, how it was running into levels of resistance, and that resistance level right there got smacked down out of it, which is why over the past few days we've been talking about scale out. Dropping water almost. Scale out, scale out, scale out. I told you guys this a few days ago. In fact, no, I think I might have changed the title of the YouTube video midstream, unfortunately. But I think I can go over here and maybe it's still there. 3 days ago for the members, I talked about resistance is here for altcoins. What happens next? Bitcoin has a new God candle. Bitcoin hit for new average. I talk about this stuff a little bit 3 days ago. Oh, this is all 3 days ago. So it's kind of the same stuff, but more detail for the members here that like to pay the $1.99 a month. Oh, also, I'll come back to that in a second here. Actually, I'll come back to that in a second. So, you know, Shiba Inu 3 days ago, 1, 2, 3, boom, you know. But Pepe 3 days ago is 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit different. I wasn't anticipating news. I was looking at levels of resistance, what was happening at those points in time. Again, level of resistance over here, level of resistance with Fibonacci, ADA. Again, 3 days ago, I guess was 1, 2, 3. Still, you know, we're still doing okay, but I try to give heads up to people about this type of stuff just in case. Primarily because we were talking about a lot of meme coins and stuff. You know, 1, 2, 3, coming back down a little bit here. Solana, 1, 2, 3, just a little bit more, but you can see that flush that could possibly happen here. So I try to give you guys heads up as possible, but it requires everybody watching the stream every single day or watching one of my videos every single day, which kind of gets tedious. But during these moments, the volatility is so extreme that you kind of just want to take your profits as needed. Which of course, not everybody wants to take profits when you see it day after day going higher and higher and higher. I don't think you're going to see many YouTubers talk about that type of stuff, but I got no incentive to like make you guys lose money or make money. I'm just like, this is what I would do. Which again, is very hard when Bitcoin's hitting all-time highs. Say, hey buddy, I'm shaving off a little bit right here because we're hitting resistance levels. Because some tokens continue to break out, like we saw with Pepe with the news, or ADA with the news, right? So if I tell you to sell and scale out, and it goes up another 40% tomorrow, you're like, fuck that dude, you know. So it really depends on how you think about the markets. There we are, back over here to the 15. But Shiba's fine, I would say. I'm just going to keep on holding what I have there. I shaved off a little bit, but that's just because, again, it was hitting that level of resistance. Everything right now seems to be kind of simple right now. Nothing's really moving. Dogecoin's up 1%, but it still looks like it's coming down with the breakdown here. I'm hoping Dogecoin can have a breakout sometime next half an hour or so, but it would be something minor, I would say. There's risk both ways. It is what it is. Yeah, exactly, Hoot. But if you're going to take that risk, why don't you take the risk to lock in profits instead of the risk to lose money, right? Especially if you were able to get in at a low, good price. Because we've been talking about this for the past few weeks, but it was more of a slow dollar cost averaging. We talked about the weekly MACD turning over, opening up some small trades there. But really, if you wanted to go more aggressive, you'd wait for us to have a clear breakout above the Fibonacci level. So there was two different theories playing out. Or you can double down, I guess, on the Fibonacci level if it broke down with that initial buy-in. But again, so much stuff going on right now. And hey Max, yeah, we took a look at Doge a while ago, but it's nothing really crazy is happening. So you can see how we're breaking down right here. Dogecoin is coming down a little bit more. We're probably heading for support around like 32 cents up here to 34 cents. It's not looking the best. Go over here to the 4-hour chart. You can see that we've finally broken down below the 20 moving average in the 4-hour chart, which again, it's been a good level of support for us as of late. But typically when we do break down below it, it does give us a little bit of a meh type of vibe with it, but it usually continues afterwards. So this is probably going to be one of those buying opportunities for a lot of people that have been waiting to buy Dogecoin. I still kind of have to wait and see how big of a move Bitcoin has. But for me, this isn't something where I'm gonna like buy this dip over here, have a big move and just wait for it to rally. I'm just gonna do a little bit dollar cost averaging in case something happens like we did, like it happened back in March, and we start coming back down again, you know, and then it goes parabolic again, because it could always go parabolic again. But I think I'm just dollar cost averaging maybe once, what did I say, once every 5 days type of moves here with Dogecoin. For most tokens, just once every 5 days, not once a week because I don't think that's enough. But once every 5 days, once every 4 days, I think you guys are gonna be fine there in having small investments in there. But right now you're definitely seeing a breakdown. The 4-hour chart gave you that warning over here. If I can find out when is that, 12 p.m. November 13th. There was that first warning sign. The daily chart is still wonderful, but you are seeing some slowing down of the MACD, and the weekly chart is still absolutely fine right now. So things are still looking good. It's just you are seeing some of that resistance levels, some of that resistance have an effect at this point in time. But again, it's not terrible. Short term, not looking the best, but I don't think we're going to see a big move out of it until again tomorrow morning here. Let's see. TD. What's my Bitcoin support levels? Around 82,000 right now. If Bitcoin really does take a larger dip. So far, what's been helping us out is some of the whales coming back in, but we are starting to hit some of those patterns that would suggest a little bit more of a cool-off period for Bitcoin, which I think is fine, especially if you look at the monthly chart right now. I mean, we're just pumping up right now. We can still end up at a very good spot. We literally have like another 15 days or so before the end of this month. We can go sideways and still manage to break it above 91,000 and hold it again. We're getting very, very close to those levels of resistance up here and whatnot. So, you know, we're pretty much halfway through the rally within like 2 weeks. I'm okay letting Bitcoin take a little bit of a rest here. But again, even when we've had some weakness and consolidation, it's been the whales that have pumped us back up. I think we'll probably see a lot more volatility going into this weekend because bulls before Sunday evening when the new week starts on the candle, you're going to see whales attempt here, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, attempt to push Bitcoin back above 90,900. If they're able to do that, we're going to be looking at a very good next week. If not, it'll be kind of iffy here, and we'll have to watch pretty closely. But again, that's what makes tomorrow so much so interesting, because once the New York market opens, you're going to really see if there's still an appetite for buying Bitcoin around 88,000, or if they want to see it come down just a little bit more so they can buy up at a cheaper price. I checked Pepe chart, and don't you think that the coin will go extremely hard down? Yeah, I mean, Pepe doesn't look too good right now, but that's because it kind of ramped up a lot. Usually when one of these moments, again with the news and whatnot, you can see that Pepe's weekly chart is launching to the heavens. It's been a very good chart. Look at the daily chart right now. We're going sideways a little bit more, but it's the 4-hour chart that says, hey, maybe we might flush down a little bit here. Usually when you have a flush down, it usually goes back down to this 20 moving average in the 4-hour chart. You can see it was a level of support over here, a level of support above my head, and it's been consistent. It's been good. But right now, you want to see this hold this support level around 0.00002010. If it's able to do that, you should be okay. But if it doesn't, you know, it'll be coming back down here to 0.00001773, right? It doesn't look like a terrible move, but from here to there, it's like 16%. You know, that's a pretty decent flush here. And also you'd probably see it maybe even coming down even more than that, just because a lot of this news going on. But you know, again, it's already kind of had a big run. Most people are just scaling out. If you're looking to do a short, you can probably play that breakdown. But it's going to be something more of a 20 to 30 hour long hold. You're not really looking to go really crazy with it. If you want to see Bitcoin do something crazy, or you want to be able to buy a little bit of assets, just wait for Bitcoin to have a bullish move between this golden cross here, between the 20 and the 50. If you see that cross back over, you might have some good news there going into tomorrow. Otherwise, you're really just paying attention to this 4-hour chart and waiting to see what happens next, because this to me says we might go down a little bit more. But whale activity is giving me a little bit more hope, I would say. What's my favorite way to trade? Spot or futures? I do both. I love them both. Spot is usually for more speculative bets. like, you know, higher risk type of things. Futures are definitely more of a swing trading type of thing or a day trading, but I mean, there's something magical about using leverage if you know what you're doing. It's absolutely fantastic there. But again, not everybody knows how to use leverage, so you got to be careful there. But I think for a new investor, spot's usually the best. If you want to go with leverage and you want to do futures, start off with 1x, then work your way to 2, 3, 4, 5x. Most of you guys are going to be fine with 5 to 10x leverage. I would say 5 is a really good level for the majority of you guys, though. 10x gets a little bit more risky because altcoins can be down 10, 20% in one day. That can liquidate your account if you're not careful. You know, just having that 5%, 3%, 4%, it can really save you some trouble here. And then just learning the proper stop loss and target price techniques to really just keep everything anchored there. See, good time for you potting up new sprouts, peppers, and onions, Farmer's Almanac. There we go. But okay, everybody, I'm gonna call it a night here. I will be live a little bit later on tonight if I can. I'm actually pretty hungry and I haven't had any dinner tonight, so that's something I have to get done here. But I had breakfast today. That's it. I skipped lunch, or I had a protein bar. I guess that just wasn't enough after working out. But what do you call? Chill out. Things are looking okay. We're fine. Today is going to be a very volatile day, so I know you've been glued to your phones over the past few days as everything's been rallying. Just because we've stagnated, do not take your eyes off Bitcoin. If you're going to take a trade, just be very careful, and you guys are most likely going to have to wake up early for it, which means I'll probably end up waking up early to stream instead of streaming tonight, but I'll try to set an alarm for 5:30 and I'll go live around 6, or I'll set an alarm for 6 o'clock and try to go live around 6:30. I just have to comb my hair and look pretty, right? But anyway, nice talking with you guys. Hopefully you guys all have a really good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning around 6 o'clock, where I think a lot of you guys actually watch me stream, which is crazy. Or I think YouTube actually says this is where you guys all watch me at, right? Audience. There you go, yeah. You guys all start watching me like around 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, 9 o'clock. Maybe I'll go live at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yeah, 9 o'clock. Never mind, I'll sleep until 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. But yeah, so see you guys a little bit later. And hey, Wilder, long story short, Bitcoin's looking a little bit bearish. We have one more day to really have a big move. Historically, over the past few days, the New York Open has definitely been where Bitcoin's been doing a lot more moves, which means we're probably going to have a pretty slow night. However, we did break down below the 4-hour chart, and that's not the best move right now. I'm hoping that we can somehow find a way back above it. But the last few times we've broken down below this 20 moving average has just not been good for Bitcoin. Hasn't stopped us from going higher, but it's really led to a really boring period of time where Bitcoin is losing money. People are losing money, kind of upset, sad, and altcoins are definitely getting hit hard during those times, while Bitcoin's maybe coming down just a few percent. Altcoins are getting slammed. So just keep an eye on it. We really need to wait and see what happens by this weekend here. By the weekend, we need to find a way to get Bitcoin back above 90,900, which is this Fibonacci level. And if we can close above it, we're good for the next week. If not, we are probably having a little bit more of a consolidation until the end of November, all right? So